Dear students, the topic that I will be discussing today is business letters. To begin with, what exactly is a business letter? A business letter is a formal letter and is different from an informal or a personal letter. If you happen to write a letter to your friend, then the letter is an informal or a personal letter. Whereas a business letter is a letter which is used by organizations to communicate in a professional way. In simple language, it may be said that a letter written for business purpose is a business letter. Business letters use formal language and a specific format. It is considered to be the most formal method of communication in a business relationship. Business writers prefer simplicity. Hence, the punctuation and layout style preferred in a business letter is the one that is the easiest and yet very formal and gives a professional look to the letter. The most widely used layout style today is the fully blocked layout style. Now, what exactly is the fully blocked layout style? In a fully blocked layout style, every line is aligned to the left margin. Paragraphs are not indented and heading is not centered. Everything starts at the left side of the sheet. Paragraphs are neatly separated by a double line spacing. Thus, a fully blocked layout style has neat and simple appearance and gives a professional look to the business letter. Open punctuation is usually used with the fully blocked layout style. Means that no punctuation marks are necessary in the reference, date, inside address, salutation, and complimentary close sections of the business letter. Punctuation marks can be used in the main body of the letter. Now, students, I will be discussing some essential qualities of a good business letter. To begin with, the very first quality of a good business letter is that the language that is used in a business letter must be clear. Any ambiguity will lead to the misinterpretation of the message that has been stated. Next, the language used in a business letter must be simple and easy to understand. The letter should be concise and to the point. The message written should be concrete as well as very specific. Next thing that we need to keep in mind is about accuracy. Accuracy generally means no error in grammar, spellings, punctuation marks, etc. The language that is used in a business letter should be coherent, which means that the message should be written in a very logical way for clear understanding. Next, one must write a complete message. It helps the reader to know about the issue and the solution to be taken. It should provide all the necessary information. The next thing that we need to keep in mind is about the language and tone that is used in a business letter. It must be courteous. The writer must always be very open, friendly, and honest while drafting the business letter. One should always avoid slang expressions and try to use words like please, thank you, and welcome, for instance. The next quality is that a business letter should be neatly structured with proper spacing, indentation, and use of paragraphs. The outer look of the business letter must also be catchy and impressive. We need to keep in mind that standard size of paper should be used, for instance, A4 size paper. The quality of the paper must be good and also the envelope used must be of good quality. Next, I would be discussing the important parts or sections of a business letter. The very first important part or section of a business letter is the heading or the letterhead. The letterhead contains the name and the complete address of the business organization, which includes the email address, contact number, fax number, trademark, or logo of the company. The next section is reference. Now, what is this reference number? It's the letter number. The letter number can also be used as the reference number. It shows the department of the organization or the person who is typing the letter or sending the letter. The next is the date. The date on which the letter is written appears just below the reference number. The next important part of a business letter is the inside address. It includes the name, address, postal code, job title of the recipient. It must be mentioned after the date, written on the left-hand side of the sheet. The next important part of a business letter is the subject line. It is a brief statement mentioning the reason for writing the letter. It should be clear, eye-catchy, short, simple, and easily understandable. Next is salutation or greeting. It contains the words to greet the recipient. The type of salutation depends upon the relationship with the recipient. It generally includes words like dear, respected, etc. Next is the body of the letter. This is the main part of the letter. It contains the actual message of the sender. It should be written in simple and clear as well as easily understandable language. The body of the letter is basically divided into three main categories: the opening part or the introduction, the main part, and the concluding part. The next important part of a business letter is the complimentary close. It is a humble way of ending a letter. It is written in accordance with the salutation. The most generally used complimentary close are yours faithfully, yours sincerely, thanks and regards, and so on and so forth. Next is writer's identification, which includes signature, name, and designation of the sender. The next section is enclosures. It shows the documents that are attached to the letter. For example, check, draft, bills, invoices, and so on. It is listed one by one. And the last important part of a business letter is copy circulation. It is needed when the copies of the letter are sent to other persons. So, we need to keep in mind the important sections or parts of a business letter in the proper order while writing or drafting a good business letter. Now, let me discuss the important categories or types of business letter. There are several categories of business letter. For example, confirmation letter, in order to confirm arrangements made between sender and recipient. There are acknowledgement letters to acknowledge the receipt of a letter, order, or any other item. An inquiry letter to request information or prices. There could be reply letters to respond to an inquiry. Other categories would include complaint letter to criticize poor service or goods, collection letter, which is written to obtain settlement of a debt, for instance. Next, sales letter. A sales letter is basically written to sell goods or services. Next category could be circular letter, which is written to circulate official information to a group of people. Next could be job application letter, which is written in order to apply for an employment. Next could be acceptance or rejection letter, to take up or to refuse an offer or assignment. And lastly, there could also be a resignation letter, which is written to give up a job. So there could be several categories of business letter. Thus, dear students, in order to sum up the entire lecture, I would once again repeat what exactly is a business letter. A business letter is a formal letter which is used by organizations to communicate in a professional way and is different from an informal or a personal letter. We need to keep in mind the essential qualities of a good business letter while drafting a letter. Also need to keep in mind the proper format or the different important sections or parts of a business letter in the proper order while we write a letter. And also we need to keep in mind that there could be several categories or types of business letter. I would be coming up with more such lectures on related topics. Thanks for listening.